Hello! We're bad at board games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Here for you.
We're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. I'm Brad Lake.
I'm Topher Ferguson.
And today we're going to talk about Aquatica. Is it any good? Or would you rather drown in the ocean? That wasn't that funny, was it? Sorry. I'll do better next time.
So Aquatica is a deck builder game. This is going to be taking place underwater for the most part. So we are collecting kind of these cities and raising them. So think about like Atlantis. As we do so, we are gaining points. We're building resources that are going to be able to help us, get the points that we need. But the theme of this is you're collecting these characters, some of which are fish, that are helping you to raise kind of these cities, these underwater cities.
And it's gorgeous. So I really get all jonesed up when a board looks good on the table. It's like half the battle for me. The artwork is stunning. I mean, everywhere you look. If you like blue, and I know that's Toph's favorite color, nobody else can be blue except him in any game. And it just looks beautiful. And then these mantas, they're just plastic, but they're thick, so they have some weight, and it makes it feel deluxified. It's just really impressive that way. Along with all the cards, as I drop them everywhere, everything is really well done on the appearance. Yeah. I just really like it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game, and it's one that looks good on the table, and I think it plays well on the table. It is a deck builder, so you do have this buying of cards to add into your starter deck. You are using those cards to help you do multiple actions throughout the board. We won't talk about a gameplay of how to actually play the game, but your deck, your cards, your characters are helping you to be able to get the coins you need to buy something, or the power, the strength that you need to be able to conquer something, or maybe it's just helping you to do other things within your tableau itself. I think one of the things I love about the gameplay with this game is that you are buying these cards and you're actually slotting them into your game board. And that in itself is almost like a deck builder ability, because you are working to raise these cities and therefore gaining whatever objective it is that's underneath of it. That's unique. Yeah, seeing that the first time, I think everybody that talks about this game, that's like, oh my goodness, look, these cards fit so well in this game board, and it works. It just works.
And it is a gimmick. However, it's a gimmick that we've talked about this with Great Western Trail. It's not painted on.
Yeah.
It is. It really is like, wow, this makes thematic sense, and the mechanic and how it plays. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. So, brought this to the team. Brought this to our game group last Wednesday. It was easy to teach. Did not take long. We played it 5 players. Only played partial with the expansion, but we have 5 people showing up, maybe 6 sometimes, but this time it was 5. So I was able to have everybody play, which was important to me. So that's key. You always find those 4-player games, finding that 5th, not so much. So that was awesome. Easy to teach. That was awesome. It's a little bit slow starting. Yeah. It's a bit of a slow little grind. I would call it. It's not really an engine builder. You had a good term for that.
Yeah, and it kind of is in short an engine builder. I think what's different with it not being an engine builder per se is the fact that these cards are kind of giving you a bit of an engine getting going, because they're giving you resources as you go through it. But once you spend up those resources, it's done. Now you have to get new cards to be able to do the same thing. So it's not a long-term engine building necessarily. You do have some benefits. You can use these manatees to be able to give you additional resources. And sometimes you can collect extra manatees that will give you extra resources. So I guess it could kind of be a little bit of an engine builder there as well. So kind of like we say, it is a deck builder, but it's not going to play like Star Realms or some of the other deck builders you're used to. Right. And the same, it's not going to be the engine builder like Great Western Trail or Brass or Scythe or something like that.
Yeah, it's a nice hybrid, and it plays in 45 to 60 minutes. Now we had 5 players, hadn't ever really played it before, including myself. I did learn it before we played it, and we played it in about an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
From training to finish, it won't go that long in the future, even with 5 players. So it's not like some of those others that can take a long time. It seems to be a nice middle ground.
Yeah, there's a little bit of iconography in it. So that is something I think that may have slowed us down a little bit because none of us were familiar with the game and especially what you're seeing on the cards to be able to buy or conquer. So that slowed us down in the beginning. And also in the beginning, you don't have much. So it does take a while to get going. Once you do collect the cards, you get them in your tableau here, it does start to work a little bit quicker. Endgame definitely came much faster than I think a lot of us were thinking. But it does take some time. But, I'm still impressed. For 5 people who had never played the game, nobody was familiar with it to sit down. It was taught, it was played, and everything within an hour and a half. Like, I don't think that's bad. We were able to get 2 other games in on a game night where sometimes we play maybe 1 game and a little filler.
Right.
So, yeah.
Worked out real well. So, ratings.
I gave this an 8. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
And you were reluctant. Like,
I was.
I was the one like, look, I got this for Christmas. I've been excited for this. I
like all kinds of games, and I'm somebody that will play a lot of games, but I'm also a collector, and so I kind of think long term, am I going to like a game because am I going to want to put it into my collection? And this is one that I kind of thought, is it gimmicky? Is it just this beautiful theme artwork, but it has no game behind it? And I was surprised that, for one, it looks good. And yes, I like the gimmicky thing of moving the cards, but they work. Like, that's a theme that works. It's a mechanic that works. It's a game that works. And so I could see myself playing this a lot and enjoying that playthrough. What about you?
So right now, it's a bit of a disappointment. I'm going to bring it in as a 6. And that's because of how slow the engine is, going one at a time. Now, what I think is going to change that to possibly an 8 is the other half of this expansion that we didn't play. You get clans that cover the top of the board. You're able to buy into those clans, and then those clans essentially kickstart your engine every turn. So if you pick a clan that gives you money, you're going to get money that much every turn for the rest of the game. So to me, I think that is going to be an essential part, and I'm really looking forward to this. I love everything else about it. I liked the look, I liked the play, but it was just a little too slow. And I realized the chaining of events matters, but if you can't get that first card that will then chain to the next and the next, it doesn't really matter. You're always like, well, I'd like to do that, but I can't afford to do that, or I don't have this thing to do that. So that's kind of why I'm like, I feel bad because like everybody raves about this, Tom Bassel and Quackalope and Board Game Co, and I'm like, no, I like it.
I think one thing that worked for me was I saw not the mechanic, but I saw what's the word I'm looking for? I saw what I needed to do pretty early.
You could see your chain of events.
Yes, I could. And that was helpful for me to be able to say, okay, I know what that does. I need to look at that. I realized pretty quickly on that I don't want to call it a clan, but the faction, if you will, of the color that I was playing, the manas that I had, there are some abilities that work better with some of the cards. And so it was like, okay, let me focus on that. Right. And then it was, I need coins, or I need this, or I want the extra tokens to be able to use. It clicked. And I think, I don't think this is a perfect gateway game for somebody to get into deck builders or to get into some of these themes. Right. But there's enough of a gamer mechanic in it that I can see it being a game for beginners or a game for some gamers. I think it could be hard to have a gamer and a beginner together.
I think there's a lot of gamer in this.
Yeah.
Like a lot more than you would think.
Yes.
It's not a gate. I don't think this is a gateway game. I think everybody we had play games.
Are gamers. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to test this out on a gateway gamer person, and we got 5 minutes in. It was like, no, I'm done. So
I guess I could see that. Yeah. It played well for us, and I was afraid of it being the non-gamer game. Like that's where I thought when you look at the box looked nice, but it kind of has that theme of a lot of the I don't want to say mass market games, but kind of non-gamer hobby games, and I was pleasantly surprised with it working out, and it kept me going. I mean, it really did keep me going all the way to the very end. I don't want to brag about who won, but it did. It wasn't Brad, but it did keep me going because I did see that working of the game itself as it played through.
Yeah. So really looking forward to getting this to the table again. Just because it starts out as a 6, that's why we call this first impression. Don't let it, back you off or anything. But we really would like your input. Comment down below. Tell us what you like. Have you played it? Have you played it by itself? Have you played the expansion? What do you like that we're doing right? What don't you like? Just, drop us a line. It'd be really great.
Yeah. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. We are putting out different types of content all across the board gaming kind of hobby. So First Impressions is one of them. We'd love to see what you're thinking about that. Click the notification bell so you know when we post our next video. And like you said, comment, interact with us. We'd love to know your thoughts. If you like the video, that kind of helps us out to know what it is that we'll be looking at next.
Click here, click here. There should be something popping up. Maybe there's just one, maybe there's two. Maybe there's a little circle that you click on that and you'll subscribe. That works too. Have a great night. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. We really appreciate it.
Yep.